Re-entry systems ready. Under the direction of James Gunn and Peter Safran, the DC Universe is entering a new era. However, some projects from the previous DC administration are still scheduled to be released this year. Blue Beetle, starring Cobra Kai's Xolo Maridueña, is superhero Jamie Reyes, will be released in theaters this summer. He is the first Latino lead in a DC project, adding a new dimension to the comic book character in the live-action adaptation. In this video, we have everything you need to know about this highly anticipated project, from the release date to the plot, trailer, cast, and more. Blue Beetle is the least known hero getting a solo film in the DC Extended Universe, which makes Jamie Reyes' 2023 debut all the more exciting. Even after a studio shakeup, the latest Blue Beetle movie news and updates point to promising things for the upcoming DC Universe film. The old DCEU is being reset in The Flash, but this appears to have had no effect on the upcoming Blue Beetle film. While Blue Beetle is not the most well-known hero on DC's roster, he has appeared in a number of animated shows and comics. Charles Nicholas Watkowski created the first Blue Beetle for DC Comics, though the character was later acquired by Charlton Comics. The first Blue Beetle appeared in 1939, but the second Blue Beetle, Ted Kord, arrived in the DC Universe after Crisis on Infinite Earths in the 1980s. In the New 52 of the 21st century, DC introduced a new Blue Beetle as a teenager named Jamie Reyes, who eventually joined the Teen Titans. Warner Brothers began production on a modern Blue Beetle film in 2018, with casting scheduled for 2021 and 2022. Several updates on the film's progress have been made along the way, including several production and casting announcements, as well as the release of an official trailer on April 3, 2023. Here's everything we know so far about the upcoming Blue Beetle film. Outside of its future status in the DC Universe, the most widely discussed Blue Beetle movie news is the casting of Susan Sarandon. Sarandon was cast as the villain of the Blue Beetle film Victoria Kord, the sister of the original Blue Beetle, in early 2022. A new trailer for Blue Beetle, which was released on April 3, 2023, details the origin story for Xolo Maridueña as Jamie Reyes, aka Blue Beetle, and explores his relationship with his family, which will be crucial to the plot of the film. Following the release of Blue Beetle, there has been no word on whether the character will return for James Gunn's new DCU. When will Blue Beetle be released? The Blue Beetle film will be released on August 18, 2023. This was one of the few films that DC Studios kept on the schedule after the arrival of James Gunn and Peter Safran in late 2022. Blue Beetle will premiere on June 16, following the already released Shazam! Fury of the Gods and The Flash, but Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom will close out DC's year on December 20. However, while Gunn and Safran's plans for DCU's Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, have been well received, there are still no guarantees regarding the futures of the last remaining DCEU properties. Cast of the Blue Beetle film. Several members of Jamie's family and a potential love interest for the hero appear in the Blue Beetle film cast. Notably, the main hero, Jamie Reyes, will be played by Xolo Maridueña, best known for his roles in Cobra Kai from 2018 to 2023 and in Parenthood from 2012 to 2015. Melissa Escobedo will play Jamie's sister, Milagros Reyes, and Bruna Marquezine will play Jamie's love interest, Penny. George Lopez, a familiar face in the cast, will play Rudy, Jamie's uncle. The two films mark a watershed moment in comic book film history as the first DC live-action film to honor Latino culture. Jamie's mother, father, and grandmother will be played by Elpidia Carrillo, Damian Alcazar, and Adriana Barraza, respectively. Carapax, the Indestructible Man, played by Raul Max Trujillo, will be the antagonist. Susan Sarandon replaced the previous cast Sharon Stone as the villainous Victoria Kord. Victoria is a new character created for the film, but she was previously introduced in the comics as Ted Kord's sister. Dr. Sanchez will be played by Javier Harvey Guillen, best known for his work on What We Do in the Shadows. The story of Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle will introduce the character's third generation. Dan Garrett was the first hero, and he received his powers from an Egyptian scarab. The second focused on Ted Kord, a character who existed in the Arrowverse and used science and technology to carry on the hero's mantle. Jamie Reyes, a teenager from El Paso who discovers the original Blue Scarab and receives alien armor when the artifact grafts to his spine, is the third and final Blue Beetle. A new trailer for Blue Beetle reveals more information about the upcoming DC film. Jamie's heroic origin story, as well as his conflicts with antagonist Victoria Kord and Blue Beetle villain Carapax the Indestructible Man, will be explored in Blue Beetle. The film's most recent trailer confirms that Jamie is a college graduate who returns home to find things have changed for the worse. He is tasked with guarding a box containing the Blue Beetle scarab because someone nefarious appears to want it, but he disregards the advice not to open the box. Jamie becomes bonded with the Blue Beetle armor in front of his family, and his adventure as DC's newest live-action hero begins. Who made Blue Beetle, and when and where was it shot? Blue Beetle was shot in a variety of locations, including Atlanta, Georgia, El Paso, Texas, and Santurce, Puerto Rico. Under the working title Mofongo, principal photography began in Atlanta in May 2022. On July 18, 2022, filming in Puerto Rico came to an end. With a Puerto Rican director and a Mexican writer, the film has a lot of commendable representation both in front of and behind the camera. Angel Manuel Soto, as previously stated, is the director of Blue Beetle, and this is his first time leading the charge for a superhero film. Gareth Dunnett Alcocer wrote the screenplay. Given that the project will no longer be aimed at a streaming release, the creators were reportedly given more creative freedom to make risky choices while filming. Executive producers include Zev Foreman, Garrett Grant, and David Siegel. Blue Beetle is also produced by Peter Safran and John Rickard, with cinematographer Pavel Pogorzelski and composer Bobby Krilic on board. Blue Beetle's role in the new DC universe. While James Gunn was not involved in the production of Blue Beetle, he has expressed enthusiasm for the upcoming film. He confirmed that Shazam! Fury of the Gods, The Flash, Blue Beetle, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom would all still be released in 2023, but he did not confirm whether any of these heroes would appear in future DCU films. Blue Beetle could be part of the new DCU's Elseworlds side franchise, alongside Matt Reeves' Batman films and Todd Phillips' Joker franchise. Unfortunately, this would prevent Blue Beetle from interacting with Gunn's new DC heroes, but it would keep the exciting new hero in the franchise. Is there going to be a Blue Beetle 2? With all of the uncertainty in the DC camp over the last year, this is a question that many people are asking. Ultimately, whether or not Blue Beetle gets a sequel will be determined by how well it performs at the box office. According to reports, James Gunn and Peter Safran are planning to incorporate Blue Beetle into their overall plan for the DC universe. Gunn has previously stated that Blue Beetle will be disconnected from previous DC films, giving it a good chance of fitting into the studio's long-term plans. We'll have to wait and see what shape that takes, but for now, mark your calendars for August 18 and check out this exciting new superhero. Well, that's it. For now, we bring an end to this video, but we will come back with some new and interesting